Take one last breath. You're about to shut to your dead. You're about to shut to your...
What's up guys, my name is Jeremy and welcome to a Diablo 3 patch 2.6.1 Necromancer build guide. Today we're going to be diving into the Speed Nova Necromancer. This is a Blood Nova speed build. It's something I've wanted to play around with for quite a while, ever since I saw the graphic for the ability. Just that explosion of gore looks so cool. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the Speed Nova Necromancer. We'll go through all the gear and legendary gems you're going to be using. We'll go through the skills and runes, the Kanai's cube powers, the stats you want on your gear, and we'll leave Rift clear at the end of the video so you guys can get an idea of the gameplay. So for our set, we are using 5 of the 6 pieces of the Tragul's avatar set. We are skipping out on the shoulders for the Corpse Whisper pauldrons. It says corpse lance damage is increased by up to 30% for 3 seconds when you consume a corpse, max 20 stacks. And you might be asking, now why are you using corpse lance if this is supposed to be a Blood Nova build? Well, the answer is juggernauts. Those pesky juggernauts. You can't stun them, you can't freeze them, you can't CC them. Yeah, you're gonna feel them a little bit. So we threw Corpse Lance in there just to give us something a little bit extra to throw at them to get those pesky jugs out of the way a little bit faster. So for the Tragul's set, we'll be using the head, chest, legs, feet, and hands. Our belt is going to be the gold wrap. On gold pickup, gain armor for 5 seconds equal to the amount picked up. Just a little bit of extra toughness for us in those normal rift clears. For our jewelry slots, we're using the Wisdom of Kalan amulet. It's increased the maximum stacks of bone armor by 5, so instead of 10, you're going to get 15. It's just a little bit of extra toughness. And for our ring slots, we're using the Avarice band. Each time you pick up gold, increase your golden health pickup radius by 1 yard for 10 seconds, stacking up to 30 times. So that's a 30-yard radius around your character. That's almost your entire screen. And of course, what Necromancer build would be complete without the Crisp and Sentence ring? You deal up to 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any other type of control impairing effect. Now we're going to be setting this off in a lot of different ways. One of them is with our legendary gems. We're using Bane of the Trapped, increased damage against enemies under the effects of control impairing effects by a percentage. And the rank 25 affix, gain an aura that reduces the movement speed of enemies within 15 yards by 30%. Now since this is a Blood Nova build, we're going to be all up in everything's grill, guys, so the secondary affix of this gem is going to be proccing the main affix, which will also proc the 100% increased damage from our Crisp and Sentence. For the wrists, we're using Nemesis bracers for extra elite spawns. Our weapon is the Scythe of the Cycle. Your secondary skills deal up to 400% additional damage while bone armor is active, but reduce the remaining cooldown, or the remaining duration, of bone armor by 4 seconds. So it'll be really important to keep an eye on your bone armor timer. It'll show a little green bar up here, and just make sure it doesn't fall off. Our offhand, the legendary affix here doesn't really matter. It's basically just a stat stick, and we'll go over the stats on that in just a hot second. So for our skills, we're using Death Nova with Blood Nova. I've got to do this again just because this looks so freaking cool. Alright, enough playing around. So we're using Blood Rush, and we actually don't have to select a rune for this thanks to the extra set bonus from Tragul's set. We're getting the 100% increased armor from Potency. We're getting the healing from Transfusion. We're leaving a corpse behind us with Molting, which we can then consume for more healing. Hemostasis removes the health cost, and Metabolism gives us a second charge. Just all around great skill for being able to get out of trouble It'll move around the rift faster. We're using bone armor with dislocation. That's an on-demand stun and proc for the 300% bonus from Crispin Sentence. And we're using Corpse Lance with Blood Lance, again, for those pesky juggernauts, or if you just don't feel like spamming Blood Nova at an elite, you can just pop Land of the Dead and go ham with Corpse Lances and get rid of them that way. Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands. I'm sure all of y'all have seen this work so far. And we just start consuming corpses like crazy. I don't have anything to shoot Corpse Lances at, but here you can see all the Engorged stacks stacking up. And our Corpse Lance damage stacking from the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons. And we're using Devour with Cannibalize. It gives us an extra 3% health back. Now, an interesting thing to note, the second half of the Tragwell's 6 set says your healing from skills is increased by 100%, so where this tooltip says 3%, we're actually getting 6% health back. For our passives, we're using Fueled by Death. This has been fixed. It stacks on top of all of the other movement speed bonuses you're getting, so the 25% from your Paragons, plus this skill, plus your cube powers, and we'll get into those in just a second. Final service, DI is always nice, just an extra little barrier between you and death, just in case anything should go wrong, say you get trapped someplace and both of your Blood Rush charges are on cooldown, you've got a little bit of a barrier. Standalone, we're not using any pets, so we're getting another 100% armor increase. And Blood is Power is just insane with this build, guys. We're going to be running through our life pool like crazy and setting this off every time we use a cooldown. So after cumulatively losing 100% of your maximum life, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%, limit once per ability use. So basically you can't hit Land of the Dead and then spend your maximum amount of life twice to get 40% cooldown reduction. It doesn't work that way. It can only trigger once per time the ability is used. Alright, so for our Kanai's cube powers, we're using the new and improved Blood Tide Blade. It says Death Nova deals 100% increased damage for every enemy within 25 yards. And this does stack, guys, and it stacks like crazy. If you go after a group of 12 mobs, that's a 1200% damage increase. If you go up against a group of 20, that's a 2000% damage increase. In the armor slot, we're using Steward Screams. You gain 100% increased movement speed for 10 seconds after using Blood Rush. So you can, like, this dude is like the Flash, guys, seriously. And in our jewelry slot, we're using the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which enables us to equip the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons over the Tragwell's shoulders. So for the stats on the gear you want to look for your head, you want to look for Intelligence, Vitality, and Crit Chance. For your shoulders, you want Intelligence, Vitality, Cooldown Reduction, and you can get Corpse Lance damage here, but it's not really a necessity. For your chest, you want Intel, Vitality, Life. For your hands, Crit Cooldown Reduction. For your belt, you want Intelligence, Vitality, All Resist, and Life %. For your wrists, you want Physical Damage, Intelligence, Vitality, and Crit Chance. For your legs, you want Intelligence, Vitality, and Armor. For your feet, you want Intelligence, Vitality, Armor, and Death Nova damage. For your weapon, you want a high damage range, % damage, cooldown reduction, and a socket. For your offhand, you want Intelligence, Vitality, Crit Chance, and cooldown reduction. For your ring slots, ideally you would want Crit Chance, Crit Damage, cooldown reduction. Some of this jewelry makes it really hard to get a dream roll. I know that Crisp and Sentence has an innate attack speed roll on it, so if you had to lose anything to try and get your stats right, I would say lose the attack speed. It doesn't really do a whole lot from this build from what I've seen. And Wisdom of Kala in your next slot, again, ideally it would be crit cooldown, but this is another piece that has that innate attack speed roll on it. Alright, so that concludes the guide. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come and watch my video. Remember, if you like my content, mash that like button, mash that subscribe button, hit it so hard it leaves a crater. And we'll keep the content cranking out. We're going to leave a rift clear at the end of the video for you. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace.